Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. And so our card today is the Four of Discs. And let's see what these tea leaves have to say. I have to say, the Four of Discs is one of my most beloved, cards. And, I think it's just because I relate it as somebody who is a homebody, somebody who is returning home, kind of really recharging themselves. Everything is kind of real fortified and balanced, and there is kind of a comfort in withdrawing from the regular things. And so when I see it, I think, yes, that's the energy, isn't it? Especially this time of year. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And it is free to subscribe. I keep looking at this big eye we have. Okay, so I want to take a look. We have a large eye right here. I'm looking around it. We have somebody who's kind of stepping down here. You can see moving this way. They have their foot firmly planted. Now we also have a 3, and then up here it looks like we have maybe a 1 and a 2. So 1, 2, 3, or maybe a 3 and a 12. So those seem like important numbers. But I feel like you really are, there's a sense of watching over everything. I feel like you kind of quieting yourself a little bit, being a little bit less involved in all of the matters, of the friends, of the family, of the workplace, kind of just doing your work, getting along, but really watching, being very perceptive of how things are going, taking it all in. I feel like you're really in this kind of chill energy, chill vibes, but also kind of collecting data, right? Really bringing in the little pieces and writing them down in your mental notebook there. And I think that really this is the beginning processes of maybe a creative process coming into play, looking for inspiration. But I also think that you are thinking about how you're going to be moving forward here. And now we have that person who is stepping down and putting their foot firmly on the ground. And I think that there will be some real forward movement. I think in the next couple of months, I can see you either maybe beginning a new job or being offered some kind of new position or a raise. I think that you have been actively seeking this in some way, but whatever it is, I think that this will be a time for you to find some deeper stability in your work life, in your domestic life. Okay, definitely, more resources coming in, networking, being able to have a little more latitude and decision making within the work that you are doing. Okay. Now, in the middle here, we also have, it looks like an E. We have an E. I'm looking, we have another I there. So maybe somebody with an E name. And we have a person on a horse here. So I'm wondering if you will be maybe traveling. Maybe traveling to see this person. I almost wonder if this is maybe like a family member or a love interest. And as I'm saying that, I see this little heart right here. It's a larger heart, but also at the bottom you can see there's a little heart right there. So I think that there's some kind of a person maybe with an E name, or it's a lowercase e, so maybe there's an E in their name, or it's some kind of descriptive word that has to do with them. But I feel like there's this kind of love growing there. And I wonder if this is maybe not your primary partner, if you have one. Or if it is, it could be that you are coming into like a new season of your relationship. But this kind of feels almost like a new feeling, or because it kind of almost seems like it's like obscured by these other things. But then we see over here, you can see a person standing here, and they have their arm into the metaphysical spiritual zone, and kind of in this like they're hanging on to their spiritual work, right? And they're leaning over, and they have a watering can. They're watering this area, which the flat of the bowl is often to do with the mundane world, with the physical world, with our everyday life. And so I feel this incline is emotional. So very much an emotional being right there. And I feel like really, really balanced in the spiritual work, in the emotional state of being, and watering this physical area with that. That is really a stabilizing force in the work that you do in your household. You are somebody probably who you're not just like a, like I don't think a casual spiritual being. You are a everyday. You think about it a lot. I think you like to implement different kinds of things you've learned, techniques. Maybe you are a diviner, or some kind of magical practitioner, a healer, a medium, or something like this. And it is something that is so woven into the way that you live that it doesn't feel like any kind of, it's not a separate process. It's not a separate thing. You don't have like, oh, this is my regular everyday life, and then I do my spiritual stuff on the weekends, and then I go back to my work and my chores and things. No, it's carried with you all the time. Okay, and so I do see that and I feel like this love, this growing love you have, and now this doesn't have to be romantic necessarily, but I think that this growing love, this friendship that is emerging, this really could be amplifying, I think, your desire to be very engaged in working through some of these things in your life, and really facilitating some healing, some growing, and I think that really does happen. Sometimes we have people come into our lives by chance, or by divine a divine meeting, a crossing of paths, and you get to talking and get to knowing each other, and their energies really inspire you to explore things within yourself, and really live a life that feels a little more magical, right? And it doesn't even have to be an actual person that you are engaging with. This could be somebody that you passively meet, like on the internet, or watching the videos, or reading texts, books, a lot of things like lectures and things. Those really inspire me. Today I was just reading some Annie Besant, and thinking, I was reading her treatise on thought forms, and just feeling quite inspired, in my own thinking, this is something I really have to think about in these next few weeks. I really would like to implement some of this work, right? Really kind of building my own intentional consciousness in this period of time, when things are a little slower, a little quieter, where I can think about building up positive machinery, thought forms, and implement them into, my mundane life, right? That's exciting. But yeah, sometimes we meet people, and they really engage us in a way that feels beautiful. Now, we also have a figure here, and I see next to a dove, and I think this looks so much like our Mother Mary, doesn't it? And I know it's I'm looking for divine things in here, but you can see the long covering, and just that kind of that shape. And I think, with the dove, there's a sense of the heart being free. There's kind of a quieted burning of agape, of that relationship with the Holy Spirit, with the Spirit, with the divine, with the universe, gods, goddesses, whatever you like to call it, whatever you identify. And with that dove, there is that letting go of some of the lower messes of our lives. We think of the birds as messengers, as birds that have wider perceptions because they're at a higher vantage point when they fly, but also, they are truly an image of spirit and soul and consciousness flying free, okay, not being bound by those lower states. And I thank you. I have to take a drink once in a while here. This head stuff is just still plaguing me a little bit. I'm getting better, though. It's my second time having the unnameable thing. I won't say the name of it. I won't give it its power. But it did. It hit me pretty hard these last few days. So I'm thankful I'm starting to smell things better, and I can feel myself feeling a little more with it. Okay, so we also have a goddess figure here in the middle, and it reminds me very much of the snake bearer, the snake goddess, and I think it's Cretan, I believe, and very much a power of, or a divine feminine consciousness, holder of knowledge, bestower of knowledge, an initiator, a keeper of the people of the tribe, and so I really feel like you are a person who holds your family together, your chosen community, your friends group, whoever it is. You are somebody who, when you are away from things, it doesn't feel the same, and so I can feel in these times when you kind of are on your own little trip, on your own little journey, the people around you, and here we are with the I again, they are looking for you, right? They're waiting for you to come back. But there is no rush, okay? We have the little snail here, and we should take our time with things, right? Let them happen in their right time. But up here, I do see we have kind of a large being, and we have a smaller being here working side by side. And it looks like we have another, oops, and that's TT's ear. And we have another here, right? You can see the head and the, okay, no. Okay, come over here. Thank you. No buns on the video, please. Nobody wants to look at that. Okay, so I do feel like there will be a movement towards as you are coming out of this kind of Four of Discs energy, as you are feeling restored and there, you have this connection, and maybe you're traveling to be with this person, to see this person, to do work with this person, and then you are returning more to a normal state of things for you, which I don't know what normal means. I think that things are ever changing, of course, but I do think there will be a situation where you will be working an effort with a group of people. And I feel like this could even be with the family. And I feel like it's almost, I get this impression that your family or your chosen family is kind of a grouping of people that seem like they wouldn't all go together. They're just different kinds of personalities and maybe different kinds of aesthetics and interests and whatever. But I feel like this really ties you together because you all kind of complement each other in your differences and in the underlying below all the surfacey stuff, ultimately the common goals and love and devotion that you have for one another. And so I think that this will be a really a time of really getting some things done, right? And feeling very confident in that work. Now, TT, please come over here, Mama. I know, you just want to be attentioned. All the attentions. Okay, so now I want to look at the... did we talk about the goddess up there? I can't remember. But I do want to bring her up really quick. We have also a primordial goddess. Not unlike the one in the middle that we saw with the arms. Oh, no, I touched her. Okay, I'm sorry. Don't look at that. We were almost done anyways. But... yes, the two arms linking together above the head. Okay, so this is one of the most ancient symbols of the goddesses, and it is very much in the likeness of the yoni, the female genitals and exterior. And so, let's see. So we have this kind of lunar... almost, it looks lunar to me. It reminds me of the dog on the moon card, and almost maybe the crab, or it's actually a crawfish, I believe, or a lobster. And this is kind of a symbol of the melancholy, right? The melancholy that underlies that illusionary lunar light. And so I like to think of this, though, as a place where there's a lot of creativity. Okay, this is a place where we have access to those, primordial waters, those, abstracts, the symbols, the visions, the looking at things in a whole different light, in a different perspective. Seeing how things can be so unlike themselves beneath that dark veil, right? And so, I think that although this can often be a place where people feel a bit lost, or they feel not quite themselves or whatever. Because we're talking about Gemini, I think that you really are beings that do so well in the day side and in the night side. Okay, you can walk in both and between, right? So this is, I think, a gift, and I think that in the realm of the Four of Discs, when we are in our sacred place, in our fortress, in our home, in our temple, this is a safe and beautiful place to explore that lunar energy and those cycles. Okay. And I also think probably intense dreams in a practical sense, yes. Dreams, visions, and so on. So we do have a key, okay? So I do think in this time there will be kind of messaging coming through the dreams, through the visions, some kind of symbol or understanding, a moment of clarity, revelation, a key into the next, okay? And also, you're going to fall, love. Be careful there. And then we have a stop sign, okay? So I think really this is kind of a stop sign telling us to really stop and consider. Stop and consider. Don't go too fast. We had that snail as well. So I really, and this one looks like a snail itself right here. And I'm sorry, I'm limited in my range here with this cat. You need to, let's go. I will hold you after, I promise. Don't growl at me, Mama. I love you. Go on. Jump over. Thank you. She loves me until she doesn't. All right, so we have the little snail here. So it is. I think that there is a sense of tempering the hastening, right? When you want to go so quickly and get through the thing and do the next, stop, stop and remember to try to get into that mode of being present, being there with the gifts that are being received as you unlock that door, as these signs, symbols, patterns, abstracts, concepts, and so on come through, instead of, being so excitable. And it can be quite exciting, especially when we feel like we really have some kind of revelation, but really allowing yourself to go in through it. Okay. All right. Let's see. Gemini. Let's take a look at the Happier Me affirmation cards. And I'm just going to move these over here. I'll flip on through here until it feels right. Oh, yes. It says, I believe in myself. Yeah, did a Gemini write this? I believe in myself. If someone you care about needed encouragement, you would show support and faith. Then why wouldn't you do the same for yourself? Give yourself the same treatment that you would give your best friend. Yeah. I like it. All right, Gemini, I'm going to say thank you. Thank you for putting up with my my congestion. Hopefully I don't think I coughed during this one, but my throat is getting a little bit worn out. So I thank you for putting up with all of this mess I have going on. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing your time with me. It is always such an honor for me to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all, and they mean a lot. They really do. They're my favorite part of the channel. I love hearing from you all. I love getting to know you all. I'd love to hear about, what you're looking forward to in this next year that we have entered already, and what kinds of maybe resolutions or goals or plans you have, and all of that. I'd love to hear about it. So anyways, I love you. We will talk in a few days. Take care of yourself. Enjoy yourself. And yeah, thank you.